Hello and welcome back to the Rylan William Show. I'm Rylan, your host, and today we've got a special guest joining us, Chris Borreson, a candidate for mayor of Greenfield. As the city transitions from a city manager system to a mayor-led government, this election marks a pivotal moment for Greenfield's future. We're diving into Chris's vision, values, and what this change could mean for the community. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get into it. Today on the show, we're joined by Chris Borreson, a candidate for mayor of Greenfield. As the city prepares to shift from a city manager system to a mayor-led government, Chris is stepping forward with a vision for leadership, community engagement, and meaningful change. We're going to be talking about his background, his goals for Greenfield, and what this transition means for the people who call it home. Let's get into it. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
What do you want to know? My background, my weight, height, what?
Just really anything.
I've lived in Greenfield my whole life. I graduated from Greenfield McLean High School in 1992, although I was a class of 1993. I graduated a year early. Went to the United States Air Force. I got into the 16th Special Operations Squadron. I spent 4 years there. When I got out of the military, I came back to Greenfield. I bought my house on Lennon Avenue in 1997. I've been there ever since. I started working at Cox Paving for a few years, and that's where I learned a lot about infrastructure, roads, sewers, drainage, ditches. And then I got on at the Ohio Department of Transportation. I've been there for 21 years, serving my community currently in Ross County. I'm a transportation manager over there, and have 24 employees. And we take care of 540 miles of roadway, state routes in Ross County. And I still live in Greenfield. I've always loved Greenfield. We have great people. We have an amazing school. And we're just the Greenfield folks. I mean, that's who we are. And that's about the gist of it.
Greenfield is shifting from a city manager system to a mayor-led government, and what does that mean for the community?
Well, a lot of things will change, but mostly it'll be the same thing. All your employees at Greenfield that run all the day-to-day business, they'll all be the same. They'll all still be there. That's what makes the town go. The biggest difference is with a mayor form of government, your mayor has to live in town. The city manager form of government, you didn't have representation that lived in town. The city managers in the past, not one lived in the village of Greenfield when they applied for the job within the city limits. With a mayor form of government, you're there. You have to live there. So all of your elected officials will be the people that you know in your community. So that's one of the most important changes. Another thing is changing with the transition of the new government. We're going to a federal form of government, and when we got it on the ballot, somehow or another it ended up where it's going to its core basic structure, where you only have 3 council members instead of 5, and then you'll have a mayor, and those are all your elected officials. So you're basically going back to scratch, square one of your government. So you'll grow those. You can legislate and increase the number of council members to your needs and tailor that out to match, what is better fitting for like the sunshine law and things like that. Because if you only have 3 council members, you can't have 2 of them can't be together talking about city business ever outside of being a real meeting because of the sunshine law in Ohio. So that'd be something that needs to be changed. A lot of things just need to be rebuilt. It's just kind of starting from scratch, and we'll rebuild it, and we'll re-legislate it. And that's basically all the major changes. And like I said, your day-to-day business and stuff will still be continuous flow, because all the employees of the village are the ones that actually make everything that everybody sees every day happen. So you're just getting a management change is all you're doing.
Why did you decide to run for mayor of Greenfield?
I love my community. I'm a public servant. It's in my DNA. We needed a good, strong leader, especially in this time of transition. Someone who knows what the people want, someone who knows how to make that happen. We need a leader and a trainer. We need someone in that position that knows how best to spend every dollar. Villages our size don't have very big budgets. When you go to pave a road or whatever, putting lipstick on the road is what I call it. If you just come in and take an inch and a half off, put an inch and a half down, if that road was all tore up, usually there's a reason underneath that road as to why it was all tore up in the first place. Why did it fail so bad that it needed fixed so soon after it was just paved before? So I have that experience. I served for 8 years on village council, and I learned, how the government works, how it works in our town. I learned about the budget and what kind of things we had. And while I was on council, a lot of people noticed when I was on council and liked me. So when we transitioned the government back to a mayor form of government, I had a lot of people reach out to me and they asked me to run, and I felt that I needed to step up for my community. So I'm kind of like the soldier storming the beach in Normandy. I don't really want to, but somebody's got to do it. So that's where I'm at.
I just think that's amazing that you have that much support from the community.
That is wonderful. We have a wonderful community.
And what does the role of Mayor of Greenfield mean to you personally?
Oh, what it means to me personally is I'll finally be the voice for the people that's been ignored and treated badly by the government and the officials and stuff in the past. And I really want to change that attitude. I want to remind the village government, even in our small scale, that the people of Greenfield are the boss. They are the customer, and the customer's always right, and you need to take care of your customers the best you can. And we're all public servants, and I think that they've lost touch with that. They've lost touch with their customer service roles, and they need to be reminded of that. And so it's important to me. Government is a tool to help the people succeed and pursue, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And that's all they are. So I want to bring that back, and get those employees and that government institution in line with what the people want. That's why.
That's amazing. And why do you believe you are the most qualified candidate for Mayor of Greenfield?
I think my 8 years on council gave me a lot of experience with the government, how the system works, how Greenfield works, and my 21 years at ODOT and a few seasons before that in the infrastructure business I know more about infrastructure than your average person does. And for a long time, Greenfield and several municipalities, it's the blind leading the blind. If someone was trained a job by someone who didn't know what they were doing in the first place, then 20 years later, that person's training a new person, and you never have that quality product at the end when it comes to infrastructure. And infrastructure in all of the state of Ohio was all thrown together and invented and built within a short time frame in the grand scheme of things, 40 to 50 years. All your highway systems and your roads and your bridges and all those things kind of went up all at once, and they were all in tip-top shape, and then an entire generation went by and didn't have to do anything to them. And so those people retired and whatever else. And when you elect politicians to lead, and a lot of times they'll bring in their friends, from the golf course or the card club or whatever, to have these positions and jobs to lead the people. And if they don't know what they're doing, then you don't get the most value out of your dollar. So, I feel like I am very well qualified to make sure that the Greenfield people are going to get the most out of every dollar that the taxpayer pays into the town, and that's my qualifications, I guess.
Why is this mayoral election so important to you?
This is the first one we've had in a long time. So it's important that we get the right person for the job this time. We're in a rebuilding phase where we're going to rebuild our government, we're going to rebuild our town, and this one is the most important for a long time. And that's why it's the most important, because of the timing when we're transitioning. There's a lot of things that need rebuilt, rebooted, and a lot of legislation needs rolled back, and a lot of new stuff needs brought in. Now's the time to change it back and put it back in line with what the people want.
That's amazing. And what's something about you that voters might not find on a campaign flyer?
I love racing. I got a 392 Scat Pack Challenger. I like to go to Killcare and drag race. We go out 35 Raceway in Frankfurt, watch dirt track racing. When they're not racing there, we go to Atomic Speedway last week. So I like fast cars. I also like cookouts. I like grilling out. I obviously like to eat. So there's a couple things.
And how do you plan to stay connected with residents and keep communication open?
Just recently posted my personal cell phone number on Facebook because a lot of people have questions. They want to know about me or whatever. So if you have questions, call me. Send me a text message. If I get the mayor job, I hope to have a mayor cell phone, and that phone number will be public to everyone all the time, 24/7. Send a text message. I'm going to be the most transparent to the point of people's going to be sick of it. I'm going to put all the information there is to have about every dime, about everything out into the public forum every chance I get. Because if people understand the big picture, they know better as to where you're going or how far you can go. If you know that there's only $300,000 in your budget to pave roads, and that's only can afford 8 blocks of road, then you know why we only paved 1 street this year. But if you don't know that, if you don't know how much those things cost, then you have no idea because you don't know the big picture. And today is a day of information. People have encyclopedias in their pocket. When people want to know something, they can look it up fast. And the government, even in our small town, is not really providing that information to them. I want to make that information readily available to everybody. I had to get on council to find out why we were so broke. I ran for council originally because I went up to the city manager and I had asked to get a pothole fixed right in front of my house. I said, there's a pothole in front of my house, and when I park my car, my wheel is in it every day. I was wondering if you guys could come down there and throw some cold mix in it and fix it. The city manager at the time told me, no, we don't have any money for that, fixing potholes. And I said, what do you mean you don't have any money to fix a pothole? I said, I know exactly how much that would cost. We're talking about $11 worth of cold mix is what I want for this hole. Can you spare $11 and buy some cold mix and throw in that hole in front of my house? And, no, we're not spending no money on that. So I ran for council to see where all the money's at, what was going on. At that time, that was back in 2011. At that time, the village was broke, the economy crashed in 08 or whatever. So I found out where all the money was and the lack thereof back then. And I found out the big picture, but I had to run for council to get those answers. And you shouldn't have to do that. The voter should know these things. Did you know that those little reflectors in the middle of the asphalt on the road, everywhere you go, it's like $25 each? Imagine how many of them you see between here and Columbus.
Quite a few.
Yeah. And people have no idea the cost of things, And when I get in there, it's going to be transparent. Everybody's going to know everything all the time.
I love that. What's one message you'd like Greenfield residents to hear before casting their vote?
I'm gonna work for you. I want to be your public servant. You'll be the boss. I'll be the mouthpiece. That's the one thing I want people to know.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate that. Have a great day.
You too.
That wraps up today's conversation with Chris Borreson, candidate for mayor of Greenfield. As the city steps into a new chapter of leadership, it is clear that voices like his are helping shape the future. Thanks for tuning in to the Rylan William Show, and if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow, share, and stay connected for more conversations that matter. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and take care.